Howdy y'all, I'm Jonathan, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Major Ludi F22 Raptor all-in-one home gym power rack. And this thing is a beast, so I think y'all will really like this. As a disclaimer before I get started, I will say that I was given the rack for free by Major Ludi in exchange for an honest review, but aside from that, I have no affiliation with the company, and since they want an honest review, that's exactly what y'all will be getting at. So before I actually get to talking about the rack itself and what you can do on it, I want to talk a bit about the shipping and then the assembly process. So as you can see over here, it comes in 3 boxes. I think it weighed about 270 pounds, so it was a little difficult just to get off the delivery truck and into my gym, but that was more because the FedEx driver didn't have a dolly. But hey, you wanted to get a good workout anyway, right? So what I liked about this is that all 3 of these boxes arrived completely sealed in plastic, which was nice just in case that you had to deal with some inclement weather during the delivery process. And what I thought was especially nice is that unlike most of the boxes that you might get from Amazon, where the box is like one piece of cardboard that's all just kind of bent and fit together, these boxes are actually 2 separate pieces, and they come apart just like this to where you can pull the bottom completely from the top. And I really like this because, typically when I get a box from Amazon and I end up like destroying it just to open it, this thing I was able to very easily open without damaging any of it. And now I can just put it all back together and I can store this for whenever I might move, or if for some reason I wanted to, there we go, if for some reason I wanted to pack up this rack and take it somewhere else, I would be able to keep these boxes and use them all over again, which is really nice. It's pretty obvious what pieces are meant to be put into other pieces, or which screws are meant to be used in which area. It would be, I think, pretty hard to end up assembling this in a way where you go, oh, I should have used screw A instead of screw B, and now I have to go take the whole thing apart. You definitely need the instructions, but it really was rather straightforward once I started. So I would give the boxing and assembly process about a 9.5 out of 10 fit. They use a metric 14 and 17. These are the wrenches that did come with the rack, and so you could put it all together if you don't have a socket wrench, but with as many times as, for example, if you didn't have a socket wrench and you were having to kind of, hold the bottom screw while you tighten the top, it can get really, really tedious. So I would definitely recommend having a socket wrench, but really that's the only thing that I would recommend having that did not come with the rack itself. So overall, not a bad process in terms of putting together. I think it took me about 6 hours total, spread over 2 days. I just put in a podcast or listened to some music as I went about it. I was able to do it all by myself. I was really worried as I started reading through the instructions at first, thinking, there's a couple of parts here where it really does seem like I could use an extra pair of hands. And the only part that I really thought to myself, there's just no way I'm going to be able to do this by myself, to where I actually did bring my wife out and say, hey honey, I'm going to need you to hold this while I tighten something, is just this center part right here for the chin up and pull up bars. Because you basically put together the base here, and then you put together these red pillars, and then you put this thing right up in the middle. But actually, if you put these holder parts here on first, which the instructions do tell you to do first, you can kind of rest this on these as you're just putting the bolts in on one side, and then you can go back and do the other. So would having an extra pair of hands help you put this together more easily and more quickly? Absolutely. Even when it just comes down to having a buddy with an extra socket wrench going through and tightening all the nuts here. Simply, let me actually give you a quick rundown of what the rack entails, the different accessories it comes with, and the exercises that you can do. So if we come around the back here, you'll notice that we've got little pylons here to hold all of your weights, which is great. You will need to allow, if you're measuring your home or your garage or whatever, prior to buying this, I would, rather than just taking their exact measurements at face value, just remember that you're going to need a little bit of room to be able to get behind here. I only received the base package with just the rack, so I don't have the bench, the barbell, and the plates, but you are going to need to provide a little bit of space because you'll have the plates here and you'll want to be able to take them off and start putting them on your barbell or whatnot. So just keep in mind that you'll need, at least a foot, 18 inches of space back here. The rack is very solidly built. It is almost all metal, and the pieces that are not metal, like some of the accessories, are very sturdy. I think the ends here, are some sort of plastic, but not something that's going to rub away or melt in the heat or anything like that. It does come with 2 handles for your pulley system, a long bar, a short bar, sort of an angular bar to use with your gun barrel here, where you insert your barbell and maybe use it for some inverted rows. And you've got your clamps here. These are where the weights themselves will actually go. I like that the weights are stored here on the back because it keeps the whole thing kind of narrow and compact, and they're not going to get in your way as you're doing other things. And then you would actually put the weights on here and use the pulley system to up there. For the dips, this is great. You've got inner dip handles if you want to really target those triceps, and you can get a more narrow grip, whereas if you wanted to work more the pecs and the shoulders, you've got a wide grip option here. Same deal. I don't think that the inner handles get in the way at all. I've never worked with a rack that had a dip setup like this, but I really like those. And again, I think you could probably take this off, pull it a little lower, put a band on, do some band work with your legs, with your arms. You get a lot of optionality there. Unscrew this knob right here. Wait till it's loose. Go down, find your next hole, screw it back in, and there you go. These things move rather easily, as long as I don't pull them out of the holder there. Works very well. Your gun barrel right here. This has a great variety of maneuverability, so wherever you want to work out, wherever you want to have this barbell sticking out, this is nice and flexible, and again, solid metal, really well built. I'm not worried about this thing getting damaged at any point, even if I happen to drop it or kick it or anything like that. You can very easily do a couple of pull-ups. And what I really like is you'll notice that when I'm doing this, you don't hear anything. There's no metal clanking, there's no creaking or clanging. I can totally, if I try to shake really hard, this thing is not secured to the middle here, it's just secured at both ends. But really, you can get some serious momentum going here, and it's just quiet. It's not like this whole thing is, creaking and shaking, but maybe that is because I did tighten all these bolts really well. But still, I really like that. It feels solid. The only major complaint that I have with the entire system is just that these safety bars, as nicely built as they are, again, solid metal, just as easy to get on and off as the rest of these things, they're just too short. They are too short by at least 6 inches, maybe even a foot. And just to show you what I'm talking about, if you are, say, trying to do a set of back squats and you've got your barbell right here, you're going to lift that up. You want to walk back far enough to be able to miss the barbell holders as you're squatting. You don't want to be going up and then clanging on this thing. But in order to move back far enough to comfortably be away from the barbell holders, I'm getting to the point where I almost am eclipsing the back of the safety bars right here. So my barbell, I'm getting ready to do my squats. If I fall forward, well, I've got these and the safety bars to take care of me. But if I were to fall backward, this does not extend long enough for it to catch anything past, really where I'm standing right here. So you have this very kind of narrow range where you're going to be able to do your squats. It feels good. It's nice and solid. It's got all the accessory pieces you would need. And if you're willing to pay just a bit more, I do think it's very efficient to get everything shipped out to you at once, to where you could have a bench, a barbell, weights that will fit all of these. I will end this by saying that if you have any questions, the company did reach out and say that they have a customer support line, that in the instructions they repeatedly say, hey, if you didn't receive all 3 boxes, please reach out to us. In the instruction manual, they do have contact information for you to get in touch with them if you're missing a piece. If something came broken, they want you to know that they're willing to help you out and make sure that you enjoy the product that you purchased. So I haven't had any experiences with their customer service. I didn't need it, which was great, but it's good to know that they stand behind their products and that they are willing to help out their consumers. So I hope you all enjoyed this review, and if you decide to get this, have a great workout.